A week after Melbourne came out of lockdown for the 6th time, restrictions are easing further as we hit 80% vaccination. It's good. It's good. It's exciting. I thought it was a good opportunity to look back on the past week and to look forward to, what we can expect to come next. I've had a good first week out of lockdown. It's not exactly freedom, but things are definitely open and I'm catching up with people. I'm going to venues and it's pretty delightful, to be honest. Although there is a lingering nervousness. I think as each day goes past, each train that I catch, each stool that I sit on in a cafe, I start to feel a little bit more confident. And I think sometimes you don't even really know what you've missed until you encounter it. And that actually happened to me last night. I went out for dinner to Hope Street Radio, which was ace in the Collingwood Yards, just super honest food. I'll write about that next weekend. So, I'll get my thoughts together. But it was actually it was the bar that I went to afterwards with my friend Annalisa, the old bar, a pretty divey music venue on Johnson Street in Fitzroy that we just wandered up to, had some seedy Camparis and soda, and it was just sitting in the window there, just like looking at the graffiti under a pretty weird statue of a unicorn with a sticky bar and just tattooed dudes standing around checking vaccinations and being awesome. I just thought, I don't even really think that I'm the kind of person that loves places like that much, but I just loved it so much. I think just the fact that I could do it, that it was there, that people were there being themselves, the stage was set ready for musicians. It was just awesome. And it just made me feel so grateful for all the different experiences that are open to us in a great city like Melbourne. So what have we been seeing over the past week? I think we've seen a lot of kindness and a lot of patience, and I've heard from numerous venues that their customers are being fantastic and proudly showing their vaccination ticks and certificates on their phones. But I've also heard from people of a bit of nastiness and impatience and downright silliness, expressed no less perfectly by the anti-vax protests on Ackland Street last weekend. I just cannot believe that people would sit down on the footpath outside a great restaurant such as Chicholina thinking that they were protesting against discrimination and acting for freedom when they were simply just too silly to get vaccinated and look after not only themselves but the community around them. I find that discrimination narrative so painful and damaging and insulting and wrong. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's fine. But you can't expect to go into restaurants right now. I've also heard about a few people who have given staff a hard time when they've been asked to show their vaccination certificates, and that is simply not on. What else are people talking about? I think staffing is the hugest topic on everybody's minds in hospitality. There simply aren't enough staff. It means that the key staff members that are there, particularly owners, are working stupid hours. And I do fear for that. I mean, how sustainable is it? And what are the solutions? I think, it's great to see borders opening soon and we will get some internationals returning. Or coming for the first time, which is exciting, but it's a massive issue. I'm especially concerned for the regions over summer, and I think we'll even see it this weekend for the long weekend as Melbourne and the regions join together for the first time in a few months. It's going to be really challenging for those businesses that are open but are also understaffed, or perhaps staffed with people who are very inexperienced, especially in a scenario where they need to check vaccinations. So what are the rules as we move into this 80% world? So the changes are that the regions and Metro Melbourne come under the same restrictions, and that means that to serve dine-in customers in regional Victoria, everybody must be fully vaccinated. There's no allowances for people on unknown vaccination status as there have been. And there's a bit of confusion about indoors and outdoors. There is no difference in terms of vaccination for indoors or outdoors. Everybody, staff and patrons, have to be fully vaccinated to dine in. For takeaway, there is leeway. People don't have to be vaccinated to pick up takeaway, and staff who are working in venues that are only doing takeaway are also not required to be vaccinated. That was an interesting amendment to the first round of the open premises directions that were released this time last week, that they were amended quietly, and there was provision for takeaway and people who aren't vaccinated. So interesting. Okay, what else happens? Small venues who can have up to 25 people can have those 25 people without looking at their density quotient. Inside, there's no cap on patrons, but it has to be one person per 4 square metres maximum. Outside, you can have a density quotient of one person per 2 square metres, and it's up to 500 people. You want to dance? You got to do it outside. Masks must be worn for hospitality staff inside and out. Diners can obviously take them off to eat, and masks are not required outside. It's going to be interesting. It feels positive. Melbourne has had an interesting night with crazy winds. In fact, there is a tree draped over my house as I speak. I'm hoping that I don't hear any terrible creaking and cracking and it comes through the roof. But anyway, you just never know what's going to strike you in Melbourne town. I love this city's fortitude and spirit. I'm loving getting amongst it. And I look forward to seeing you out there. Vaccination passports are ready and hungry for dining, drinking, and beautiful hospitality experiences. Have fun out there, everybody. Be safe. Stay well.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinenat deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.